शांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री श्री राधा रास बिहारी ललिता विशाखा सखी की श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री गौर निताय की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सा पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादं सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो भगवते कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरकृष्णे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 84. Chapter is entitled The Sages' Teachings at Kurukshetra. Text number 20 and 21. Text 20 has no purport, so I'll read that verse and translation. Then we'll chant verse number 21 together. Text 20. तस्माद् ब्रह्मकुलं ब्रह्मान् शास्त्रजोनेस्तं आत्मनः सभाजायसि सद्धाम तत् ब्रह्मणो अग्रणीर्भवान्. Translation. Therefore, O Supreme Brahman, your honor You honor the members of the Brahminical community, for they are the perfect agents by which one can realize you through the evidence of the Vedas. For that very reason, you are the foremost worshipper of the Brahmanas. Text 21, we'll chant together. Addana janma safalyam vidyaya tapasodrisha Tvaya sangam sadgatya jat anta shreya samparaha Addana janma safalyam vidyaya tapasodrisha Tvaya sangamya sadgatya jat anta shreya samparaha Addana janma safalyam vidyaya tapasodrisha Tvaya sangam sadgatya jat anta shreya samparaha Vaishnavis. Adda, today, na, our, Janma of the birth, Safalyam, fruition, Vidyaya of the education, Tapasa of the austerities, Drishaha of the power of sight, Taya with you, Sangamya obtaining association, Sat of saintly persons, Gatta who are the goal, Yat because, Antaha the limit, Shreyasam of benefits, Paraha ultimate. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Today our birth, education, austerity and vision have all become perfect because we have been able to associate with you, the goal of all saintly persons. Indeed, you yourself are the ultimate, supreme blessing. Purport. The sages here contrast their respect for the Lord with his reciprocal worship of them. Lord Krishna honors Brahmanas as a means of instructing less intelligent men, whereas he is in fact absolutely independent. The Brahmanas who worship him, on the other hand, benefit themselves more than they can imagine. Mukham karati vachalam ponghulanghayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam. Hare Krishna. So in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, discussion is going on, rather reciprocation is going on between the brahmanas, the sages who came to Kurukshetra, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the beginning, Krishna worshipped the brahmanas, and in reciprocation, brahmanas are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, glorifying Krishna. So devotees, they glorify Krishna, and Krishna glorifies his devotees. This is the essence of spiritual life. Generally in this world, we have a tendency to be glorified, and we have a strong tendency to criticize others. That is the essence of material existence. But the spiritual life is completely opposite. Mahaprabhu has taught us, amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. We should offer respect, but don't expect respect. Getting respect is not a problem, but expecting respect is a great obstacle on the path of our spiritual progress. But problem is that when we get respect, we expect respect. That is the nature of the conditioned mind. That's why we have to be constantly reminded that we are the servants. Generally, as time passes, we start thinking we are senior devotees. Why you are senior devotees? Because we have spent so many years in devotional life. That is wonderful. But Prabhupada says, Shastra also explains, spending number of years is not the factor to determine the advancement of Krishna consciousness. How to determine the advancement in Krishna consciousness? How we are attracted to Krishna. Attraction to Krishna is the factor. If you don't develop attraction for Krishna, then what is the point? So it's sramayevi kevalam. If you don't develop the taste in hearing Krishna Katha, if you don't get attracted by the qualities, beauty, pastimes of Krishna, then all our endeavor is like useless labor. Sramayevi kevalam. It is explained there can be a different way of determining seniority. Some may be very senior by age, means number of years in the material body. That is also one way of understanding seniority. Some may have joined Krishna consciousness before. On that basis, he may be senior. Some may be senior in terms of varna or ashram. Just like here, we are talking about brahmana. Brahmana is the topmost varna. Sannyasis are the topmost ashrama. So in that way, seniority is also understood. But real meaning of seniority is that person who is more advanced in Krishna consciousness. That is the real meaning of seniority. One may be one day in Krishna consciousness, but if he is a pure devotee, he is the senior-most devotee. But externally, he may be a new bhakta. Sukadeva Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, and in that assembly his guru was also listening, from whom he learned Srimad Bhagavatam. It is also explained, Vyasdev may know Srimad Bhagavatam, may not know. In a different way it is understood also. But Shukadev Goswami definitely knows. But Shukadev Goswami learned Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva. So by this we can understand that seniority does not depend on only external criteria. Number of years, number of this, number of that, varna, ashram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He asked for the blessings so that he can have a successful preaching tour in South India. And Prabhupada is writing elaborately in the purport. By this behavior of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is conveying a very deep message in Krishna consciousness. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he was behaving as a devotee, but he was also a sannyasi, topmost order of the society. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a grihastha, and recently he converted him into a Vaishnava. He was in the Mayavad school, but Mahaprabhu is teaching the higher principle. Jagannath Das Babaji used to offer obeisances, used to hear from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a grihastha. Jagannath Das Babaji was a Paramhamsa Babaji. So in that way, real criteria is advancement in Krishna consciousness. And Vaishnava philosophy is to give respect to everyone, irrespective of external situations. When the disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to offer him obeisances, he used to address, he used to reciprocate, Dasosmin, I am your servant. So we are always servant at every step in our life. That's why Jiveda Swarupa Krishner Nitya Das, not Das, Nitya Das. Eternal position. And Mahaprabhu has taught us not only Das, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayor Das Dasanu Das. We are not the servant of the Lord, we are the servant of the servant of the Lord. Lord also declares, who claims he is my devotee, he is not my devotee, but who is the devotee of my devotee is my devotee. That is the principle, very strongly propagated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. That's why he also declares, Naham tishtami vaikunthe yoginam hidaya shiva tattva tishtami narada jatra gayanti mad bhakta. It is explained, Krishna declares that I don't reside in Vaikuntha. I don't reside in the heart of a yogi, but I reside in those places where my devotees sing my glories. Devotee association is the birthplace of Bhakti. Bhakti is born in association of devotees. That's why we have to be very, very careful how to associate with the devotees. Association of devotees can take us to the higher platform of Krishna consciousness. But if you cannot handle it properly, then that can also degrade us in Krishna consciousness. It's like a fire. If you handle it properly, you will get wonderful benefit. But if you don't handle it properly, then possibility of being burned is there. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful. So fundamental principle of association of devotee is respect. We should have respectful attitude towards each and every devotee. Srila Prabhupada explains 3 levels of devotees based on this principle. Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. A Kanishta devotee respects only 2 personalities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the spiritual master. He does not respect anybody else, because for him, nobody else is worthy of respect. Who is a Madhyama devotee? Who respects each and every devotee. senior, junior, equal. He is a Madhyama. And who is an Uttama devotee? Who respects each and every living entity. How it is possible to respect each and every living entity? For that we need to develop spiritual vision. Conditioned souls have material vision. We see everything externally. That's why our respect is also based on material platform. But a Uttamadhikari devotee sees spiritually. And fundamental principle of seeing spiritually is explained by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane govi hastini sunichaiva sa pakecha pandita samadarshina. What is the symptom of knowledge? Humility. How do you know someone has knowledge? Very simple. He will be humble. Humility is the symptom of knowledge. And arrogance is the symptom of ignorance. Someone is arrogant, that means he is not in knowledge. He is in ignorance. And those who are humble, he is in knowledge. Vidya vinaya sampanne. And he sees everyone equally. Equal vision. He sees brahmana, cows, dogs, everyone equally. He is a person in knowledge. Pandita Samadarshina. That is called spiritual vision. Beginning of spiritual vision. But Uttama does not see only the spirit soul. Uttama devotee sees also Paramatma in everyone's body. So Paramatma is the Supreme Lord. And wherever the Supreme Lord resides, that becomes a temple. So a Uttamadhikari devotee sees the body of a living entity as the moving temple. So when someone sees a temple, he offers respect. In the same way, a Uttama devotee, whenever he sees a body of a living entity, he sees the temple, and within the temple Paramatma is residing, because Uttamadhikari can see the Lord everywhere, because he has developed the eye of love. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilakayanti jangsam sundaram achinta guna sarupam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. This is called spiritual vision. So only knowledge is not enough. There are three levels of knowledge. Acquired knowledge, realized knowledge, then revealed knowledge. Before coming to that discussion, we should know who is a brahmana, because the topic is a brahmana. Krishna worships the brahmana. He worships Sudama Vipra. He was glorifying the brahmana in South India and Srirangam. In many places, it is very, very strongly recommended by the behavior of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is that recommendation? We should worship the brahmanas. Lord personally worshipped. So who is a brahmana? That is very, very important understanding. Janmana jayate sudra samskarat bhavet dija veda pathat bhavet vipra brahma janati iti brahmana. Janmana jayate sudra. When someone takes birth from the biological parents, that birth is known as birth in ignorance, Sudra, Sudra Janma. Then human life begins with the second birth. Samskarat bhavet dija. A human being becomes twice born when he is initiated from a bona fide spiritual master. Then through that initiation, spiritual master becomes the father and the Veda mantra becomes the mother. Then what is the purpose of initiation? Why someone should take initiation? Veda pathat bhavet vipra. The purpose of initiation is to study Vedas. The purpose of Diksha is Shiksha. Why you get initiation? To study. That's why the primary dharma of a brahmachari is to study scriptures. Because brahmacharis are expected to be initiated in Gurukula by the spiritual master. And why they get initiated? To study Vedas. And who studies Vedas? He becomes Vipra. Dija becomes Vipra. And what is the purpose of studying Vedas? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedasya sarver aham evavedya. I am the essence of Vedas. Through Vedas, I have to be known. So who is a Brahmana? Brahma janati iti Brahmana. Who knows Brahman is a Brahmana. Who knows absolute truth is a Brahmana. But Prabhupada is very, very emphatic. He says, when Brahmana is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Prabhupada also declared that one of the main purposes of establishing ISKCON is to create some Brahmanas in the society. When Prabhupada talks about Brahmana, when Prabhupada writes about Brahmana, that Brahmana is a devotee Brahmana. Vaishnava Brahmana. So there are different levels of Brahmana depending on the understanding of the absolute truth. Srimad Bhagavatam explains, absolute truth can be understood at three different levels. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdati. So that Brahmana who knows only the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is a Jnani Brahmana. That Brahmana who knows the Paramatma aspect of the absolute truth is a Yogi Brahmana. And that Brahmana who knows the Bhagavan aspect of the absolute truth is a Vaishnava Brahmana. So here we are talking about Vaishnava Brahmana. So that kind of Brahmana is the topmost personality in the whole society. Vaishnava Brahmana. So Vaishnava is automatically a Brahmana. A devotee is automatically a Brahmana, included. But a Jnani may not be a devotee, a Yogi may not be a devotee, but a devotee is already a Jnani, already a Yogi. That's why a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. Because he knows the complete aspect of the absolute truth in the form of Bhagavan. That's why Prabhupada wanted devotees in ISKCON to be in the mode of goodness. Because devotees can be different types. Devotees does not automatically mean he is a Brahmana. Expected to be a Brahmana. But if we practice Karma Mishra Bhakti, then that person may not be a Brahmana, because Brahmana means detached. From Niskam Karma Yoga, one goes to the platform of Jnana Yoga. So, Bhakti, whatever is propagated by Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our Acharyas, is not Mishra Bhakti, it is Suddha Bhakti. Anna vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukullana krishna anusilanam bhakti uttama. Bhakta does not mean he is a pure Bhakta. He can be a Mishra Bhakta also. Karma Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Yoga Mishra Bhakta. They cannot attain love of Godhead. They can get liberation, they can get entry into Vaikuntha planets also, but they will not get love of Godhead. Who gets love of Godhead? Who practices Suddha Bhakti. Anna vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukullana krishna anusilanam bhakti uttama. The symptom of Suddha Bhakti is that he should be free from material desires. Desire to enjoy and desire to be liberated. Only one desire, that desire should be to please Krishna. When bhakti is motivated with that intention to please Krishna, that bhakti is Suddha Bhakti. And Rupa Goswami talks about that bhakti only in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Srila Prabhupada, all our acharyas and Mahaprabhu propagated this bhakti only, Suddha Bhakti. Suddha Bhakti means activities to please Krishna. No other intention. And when we practice that bhakti, then we get bhava, then we get prema. So therefore, bhakti is the way to attain real perfection in our life. And bhakti means glorification. Here we are seeing glorification. The Supreme Lord is glorifying the devotees and devotees are glorifying the Supreme Lord. What is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is glorification of the Supreme Lord and glorification of His pure devotees. That's why Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Prabhupada says, who is a pure devotee? Who remembers Krishna 24 hours a day? He is a pure devotee. We have different definition, but real symptom of a pure devotee is he remembers Krishna 24 hours a day. And he is also engaged hearing, chanting about the Lord 24 hours a day. That is the meaning of Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Nityam means constantly. But for a sadhaka, it's not possible to do it constantly. That's why there is another meaning for the sadhakas. Sadhakas, Nityam means regularly. We have to be regular. And different people interpret regularly in different way. Some may say, I am very regular. I come for every Janmashtami. Last 20 years, I never missed any Janmashtami. I am very, very regular. That is one meaning of regularity. Some may say, I come on every Ekadasi. Some may say, I come on every festival. Some may say, I come on every Sunday. But that is not the meaning of regularity. Regular means at least daily. And daily means for how long? There is the next question. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. How long? Every day. Prabhupada has introduced 1 hour hearing from Bhagavatam in the morning, 1 hour hearing from Bhagavad Gita in the evening. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, he used to hear every day from Gadadhar Pandit. For how long? 3 hours. When Raghunath Goswami used to talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the bank of Radhakund every day, for how long? 3 hours. Srila Prabhupada used to chant the holy name under the tree in Thompson Square Park, New York City, America, for 3 hours. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance in Sankirtan, minimum 3 hours. So 3 hours is a magic figure. That is minimum, not maximum. Some people also interpret that that is minimum, that is maximum. That is minimum. Prabhupada also said, chant 16 rounds, minimum. But we delete that word. We chant 16 rounds and people think that is maximum. And if you chant more than 16 rounds, it's the 11th offense. Why you are chanting more? Prabhupada wanted to have 64 rounds, but it was not practical. Then he came down to 32. That was also not practical. Then he said, at least 16 rounds. Prabhupada has given some to be very 100% are discouraged by hearing this heavy message from the spiritual master. Prabhupada understood that and he said, okay, 90%. Still devotees are not so enthusiastic. 90% is also too high. Then Prabhupada said 80%. Still not satisfied. So Prabhupada stood up from the Vasasana, came down and told 70%, not less than that. We'll take care of that. But sincerity means endeavoring regularly. So regularly means minimum 3 hours. And Prabhupada is also genius. He also introduced 2 hours of chanting of the holy name and 1 hour of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, minimum. That minimum must be done. Then we get some benefit. Because if we practice for 3 hours, that has a big impact in our spiritual journey. More impact. But at least 3 hours. So that is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So point we are discussing, who is a brahmana, who knows the absolute truth. And that will come through realization. Getting knowledge is the brahmanical platform. In mode of goodness, things are manifested. We come to know. unless you are in goodness, it's very difficult to understand the message of the scriptures. Qualification. Brahmana means mode of goodness. If someone has been mode of passion, very, and when someone is too much influenced by mode of passion, those are in mode of goodness. Prabhupada used to say, hear attentively, sit properly. Who can do that? Who is in mode of goodness? Brahmana. So therefore, in order to transcend the modes, we have to come to the platform of goodness. Brahminical platform. So Prabhupada expected the devotees of ISKCON should be Brahminical. Brahminical qualifications. Right or wrong? And that's why he started second initiation. But by initiation we don't become Brahmana. We have to cultivate the qualities. And we have Tikkam Brahma Karma Sabhavajam. Bhagavad Gita explains 9 qualities of a Brahmana. In other scriptures, 12 qualities of a Brahmana. And how we can do that? By hearing the lotus feet of Krishna. He is a Brahmana. So Sama, Dhamma, Tapa, Saucham. There are so many qualities of a Brahmana. But the primary quality is that a Brahmana is always satisfied. Brahmana means Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhakti Labhate Param. Santushta Atma. Satisfied soul. Prabhupada expected devotees to be satisfied. Prabhupada said, if you are not satisfied, you are not Krishna conscious. If you are not happy, you are not Krishna. Satisfaction comes internally. Brahmana derives satisfaction. He is a Brahmana. That's why he is always satisfied. So that Brahmana is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. That Brahmana, that type of Brahmana is also explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vaishnava Brahmana. And what he used to do? He used to recite all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita every day. But somehow he was not having proper scholarship to recite the verses properly. He was making mistakes in recitation. And Srirangam is the place of scholarship. It is the headquarter of scholars. And these scholars used to laugh at him, ridicule him by hearing his Bhagavad Gita recitation. But when he is experiencing love of Godhead, and the symptoms of love of Godhead were manifested in the body of that Brahmana. He said that I am reciting Bhagavad Gita, not because of any other reason. I am reciting Bhagavad Gita. I try to recite Bhagavad Gita, sometimes correctly, sometimes incorrectly, but I am doing that because it is the instruction of my spiritual master. So success comes from this attitude. When our attitude is to please the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord, then we get success. And that Brahmana was not disturbed at all by the insult, by the behavior of other scholars towards him. He was not disturbed. He was completely happy. Why? Avishto hoiya Gita pare anandita mone. He was not reading Bhagavad Gita. He was absorbed in Bhagavad Gita. Avishto hoiya. Avishto means he was completely absorbed by the material world. The dual is to tolerate. If you cannot tolerate, what is the question of transcending? First we have to tolerate. Matra sparsastu konteyo sutashna sukha dukkhada agamupayana anitta stangtitik sasya bharata. One of the primary qualities to chant the holy name. Tinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahisnuna amanina manadena. He is humble. So humble person can, those who are weak, they become arrogant. And those who are powerful, they remain humble. They can forgive. Who can forgive? Those who are powerful. Weak people, they take revenge. Coward people, so brahmanas, they are forgiving. Why? Because they are very satisfied. If you are satisfied, there is no question of being angry. Anger, dualities of this material world. So that was full of bliss. Why? Because he has. So therefore, become that platform, we cannot take off to the spiritual world. So yesterday was the appearance day of Narottam Das Thakur. So I thought I'll say some. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking bath in Padma river and he was shouting, Narottam, Narottam, in the holy place of Khituri in Bangladesh, other side of the Padma river. So Mahaprabhu predicted about Narottam. And Narottam is we say this, and Prabhu came to his dream and told that please take bath in Padma river and you will get love of Godhead. So Mahaprabhu kept Krishna Prema in the water of Padma river. So by the instruction of Nityananda Prabhu in the dream, Narottam Das Thakur went to take bath in that holy river, Padma, and when he was taking bath, he completely got transformed by getting love of Godhead, and he also got the embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur's bodily color changed. Narottam Das Thakur was blackish in complexion, but when he got the embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and when he got the treasure of love of Godhead, his bodily color changed to molten gold. He got the golden complexion by the divine embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he was instructed also to take initiation from Loknath Goswami. So by hearing this story, pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nowadays, they ask, Mahaprabhu kept love of Godhead in the water of Padma river for Narottam. For us, where he has kept. So one devotee very expertly, very brilliantly narrated that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has kept this love of Godhead where? In the Bhakti Vedanta purports. So Srila Prabhupada came and kept that love of Godhead in his Bhakti Vedanta purports. We have to dive into the water of Bhakti Vedanta purports. So Bhakti Vedanta purport is revealed knowledge. Prabhupada said, I never wrote this. I was dictated by Krishna. I just wrote. Real writer is Krishna. So this is revealed knowledge. What is revealed knowledge? When someone can see and write. One is acquired knowledge, information, then someone gets realization, and when realization becomes completely mature, then that becomes revealed knowledge. Valmiki Muni saw the pastime of Lord Ram before and during the manifest pastime of Ram, what was going on, past, present and future. He saw the whole activities of Lord Ram and he composed Ramayana. Vyasadeva saw, then composed Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahma saw and composed Brahma Samhita. In the same way, Bhakti Vedanta purports were also manifested by the divine will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through His divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. This is the example of revealed knowledge. So Narottam Das Thakur, he knew that he is supposed to take initiation from Loknath Goswami, so he went to Vrindavan and approached Loknath Goswami. Loknath Goswami also knew that Narottam will come to take initiation from him, but it is a duty of the spiritual master to test the disciple. So when Narottam approached Loknath Goswami, then Loknath Goswami said, how can I initiate you? You already got love of Godhead, you are a prince, you are educated, I am a illiterate person, I am not qualified to initiate you. So Narottam was pushing, Loknath Goswami was refusing. Then Narottam Das Thakur understood that my Guru Maharaj is testing me, I have to pass the test. So he thought that I should render some service. So every day, early in the morning, late night, Loknath Goswami used to go for nature's call, and Narottam used to go and clean that place. After a few days, Loknath Goswami started observing that place is clean. How come? I don't have any servant. Who is cleaning it? He read out. So one day, he went little advance to check what's going on. And he saw Narottam with his own hand cleaning the place where he passed his stool and urine. So in that way, Narottam Das Thakur, by his menial service and service attitude, melted the heart of Loknath Goswami. And on that day, Loknath Goswami said, today I will give you initiation. So service attracts the attention of Krishna. Menial service attracts the attention of Krishna and the spiritual master. Unless we serve, Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprasthana sevaya upadekshanti jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Only asking question is not going to change our life. That is information exchange. That's going to happen. You ask question, get some answer. This is not going to transform our life. We will get information. Transformation will come through services. And who can render services? Who has developed humility. With arrogance, we cannot serve. We can serve, but without proper attitude. We have to have service attitude along with the service. It is the attitude that determines the altitude. It's not the aptitude, but the attitude that determines the altitude of our devotional progress. Attitude matters. We may be very expert. Krishna is not so much interested in expertise. Krishna is interested, expertise is also needed. But Krishna is interested in the mood, and that mood is service mood. Attitude to please Krishna. Why you are doing? It's not what we are doing. Why you are doing it. So Narottam Das Thakur melted the heart of Loknath Goswami by his service attitude. That is the qualification. That's why Tadviddhi pranipatena. First is to surrender. Then journey begins. If that doesn't happen, nothing will happen. And what is the symptom of surrender? Service. I am surrender. What does that mean? So by action, not by lip service. I am very humble. I am your servant. I am your loyal servant. Doesn't work. What you are doing? Activity. That is called seva. That's why in Gurukula system of education, along with study, what a student is expected to do? Menial services. Prataprudra Maharaj got the attention of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the broom in the hand of Prataprudra Maharaj sweeping the road in front of Jagannath. That melted the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not because of his position as a king. Mahaprabhu rather rejected him because he was the king. But when he saw the broom in that king's hand, immediately Mahaprabhu decided to bless him. In the same way, Narottam Das Thakur also got the blessings of Loknath Goswami because of his menial service. So Vaishnavism means rendering menial services. So once the Vice Chancellor of Benares Hindu University came to meet Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So Saraswati Thakur was busy, and he understood the mood of this personality, that he is coming from a very educated, intellectual background, and because of education of this world, people become proud. Material education gives pride, spiritual education gives humility. So he understood the mood of this person. He said, oh, I am very busy today. And he said, that Vice Chancellor said, I have some questions. Generally people have many questions. He said, okay, I like to answer your question, but I am busy today, but my disciples can answer your question. So where can I find your disciple? Is the next room. That next room was the deity kitchen. Backup services was going on, cleaning was going on. So when he went there, he said, yes, we will answer your question, but few devotees did not come today. So we need some help. If you can help us, then we can answer your question quickly. Somehow, he started cleaning the deity kitchen, the vice chancellor. After cleaning work was done, he said, okay, what's your question? He said, I don't have any question. I got the answer of all my questions. This is the power of service. So therefore, in order to approach spirituality, in order to approach the spiritual master, in order to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to surrender and render devotional service. When we render services, that attracts the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So our acharyas are showing by their own life what kind of attitude, what kind of activity, what kind of behavior we should have in order to advance in Krishna consciousness and attain perfection in our spiritual journey. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Some questions, comment? So I beg forgiveness if I said something wrong from the senior Vaishnavas here, Pravichandra Maharaj and other senior devotees.
Thank you. In the Bhagavad Gita, purports Prabhupada teaches us that we're not supposed to consider ourselves the proprietor of anything. Krishna is proprietor of everything. But it's so easy to think in terms of mine, my clothes, my quota, my. So how do we get rid of this proprietorship and recognize that everything belongs to me? So everything that I consider mine isn't really mine.
Thank you for the question. That something belongs to me, that idea comes from ignorance. And everything belongs to Krishna comes from knowledge. Krishna declares that in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktarang Digadavasang Sarvalokamayasam Sridam Sarvabhutanam Gyattamang Santimichati. We have to know. First is knowledge. What is that knowledge? Everything belongs to Krishna. Then next question may come, then why everything belongs to Krishna? Why he is the proprietor of everything? He is the proprietor of everything because he is the controller. Who can be the proprietor? Who is the controller? Unless we have the quality of a controller, we cannot claim proprietorship. We say our body. Yes, we can claim it is our body, my body, provided we have control over our body. We don't have. Because we don't have any control of anything, that's why nothing belongs to us. That is called knowledge. But very difficult to realize it. We forget. So in order to realize it, we have to practice it. That's why Prabhupada says, everything belongs to Krishna, that is knowledge. And everything should be engaged in Krishna's service, that is called practice. So when we engage everything in the service of the Lord, slowly and gradually, then slowly that realization will come that everything belongs to Krishna. Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains, Manasa deho geho jo kichu mor, korpili tua pade nanda kishore. The symptom of surrender is that we engage everything in the service of the Lord. But before that, we should have the knowledge that everything belongs to Krishna. It's a process. Realization comes through practice, and practice is a process. It will come gradually, and according to our sincerity, the speed will be determined according to our sincerity. Any other question or comment?
unless it is sanctioned by Lord Krishna, no one can give curse or blessing. And even they give, it will not work. Hare Krishna.
इधर भी है, ठीक है, मिलेगा।
Hare Krishna Maharaj, how do you know pure devotee of Krishna?
Once Prabhupada said that in ISKCON everybody is pure devotee. Devotees are very happy, at the same time doubtful also. So who practices Shuddha Bhakti is a Shuddha Bhakta, and who also achieved perfection in Shuddha Bhakti is also pure devotee. Pure devotee can be at the level of sadhaka, and pure devotee can be at the level of siddha. There are three levels of bhakti: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. So when we don't have any other desire than the desire to please Krishna, that devotee is a pure devotee. And that is the qualification to practice sadhana bhakti. But at the level of sadhana, there are anarthas. Although we don't have any other desire, but desires are there inside, we want to purify those desires. So anarthas are still there. That's why they are sadhakas. And those who attend siddhi, means love of Godhead, prema bhakti, they are free from all anarthas. They are pure devotees. So two levels of pure devotee: sadhaka pure devotee and shuddha pure devotee. And what is the qualification? To have only one desire to please Krishna. If you have that desire, then you can become pure devotees. So your question is how to? By associating with pure devotees, by serving the pure devotees, we can become pure devotees. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. Very wonderful class, as usual. And your class, today's class is like full devotion. So, during your class, you mentioned that Karma Visara Bhakta, Niskam Bhakta, and Yogi Bhakta, they can attain Vaikuntha, but they cannot attain the love of the Godhead. So, can you light on this ground or elaborate on this ground? Because we have that Jnana to become completely pure from this use of material desires, we cannot attain the Vaikuntha. So, can you light or elaborate on this ground?
Jnana Mishra, Yoga Mishra, they are also pure, but they are not having loving relationship with the Lord. That's why they don't attain love of God. But they can attain mukti. Why? Because they have transcended the modes. But they have not developed the service attitude. Devotees, they have service attitude. That's why in Vaikuntha Mukti, you can get the opulence like Narayan. You can also stay in the same place as Narayan. But that service interaction is not there. That is the problem with non-Shuddha Bhakti. Okay? But Shuddha Bhakti slowly develops into Bhava, from sadhana to Bhava, then to Prema. Then there is interaction, service between the devotee and the Lord. That's why Shuddha Bhakti is superior.
As you said that the Uttama, they see everyone's body as a temple of the Lord, and that they are able to pay respect to everyone. But we see sometimes some materialistic people, they do intoxication, they abuse the body, they use the body to practice. So how is it that Uttama is still able to see?
Because your question answer your question. Your statement in the question answers your question. You said that how a Uttamadhikari can see a drunkard person living on the footpath. He doesn't see that. We see. He does not see that external body of that person. That's why he is Uttamadhikari. He sees soul in that drunkard person. Okay? That's why he can offer respect. But we cannot, because we have our external vision. We see things externally. And it cannot be imitated. Oh, now from tomorrow I will see everyone equally. You cannot. Because we have not that kind of level of Krishna consciousness. It cannot be imitated. Now from today, after Bhagavatam class, I will see everyone equally. That will never come. Unless we are free from material modes, we cannot see people equally. Okay? Huh? You can speak a little loudly, I could not hear.
So first step towards correcting our vision would be jnana, with awareness.
First is knowledge that everybody is a spirit soul, not this body. That is the first step. But that is knowledge, but you have to realize that knowledge. And when you become completely realized, then you are Uttamadhikari. If you are partially realized, then you are a Madhyamadhikari. Uttamadhikari is fully realized. Okay? I think last.
So in the starting of the class, you mentioned that devotees generally glorify Krishna and Krishna glorify devotees, as we see in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it seems that they have made together a agreement that you glorify me and glorify me.
Yeah, this is also the idea of the material world. Everything is on agreement, paper signing.
How do we see that?
This is not an agreement. The love needs registry in this world, in the court, right? But Krishna's love for devotees and devotees' love for Krishna is not based on our registration. It is unconditional love. It is beyond registration. Okay? So it's natural. If you love someone, you will glorify him, no? Why you have to have agreement? I love someone means I glorify him. That is a symptom of love. And what is the symptom of envy? I criticize. Criticism is a symptom of envy. Glorification is a symptom of love. So Lord loves the devotees and devotees love the Lord. That's why they glorify each other. In this world, we are envious of others. That's why we glorify ourselves and criticize others. Because nobody glorifies others in this world. That's why everything is self. Except self-realization in this world. That's why people take their own picture also, because nobody else is taking picture. And people are also glorifying themselves in the social media, because nobody else is glorifying. They are glorifying, and after some time they are committing suicides. That's happening. Right or wrong? Hare Krishna. Okay then. So we'll end here. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
I have a question regarding initiation. So, we look at devotees initiation. Within 5 to 10 years, any of them is stuck chanting 16 hours. And even they bend already to principles. And we find in general that they want to live a lot of culture. And things were initiated. And we know that ISKCON is officially living in Brahmana nature. So they are recognized as brahmanas. And they develop their own habits. And still they go around in society as proper ISKCON Swami initiated devotees. So how is ISKCON doing this? And what in the future, how will you view it? Will it be a teaching as well as an expression? And we're seeing it happening our own devotees who have followed the tradition. We are seeing it.
You are telling that even after not following principles, not chanting 16 rounds, they are getting second initiation. That's your statement you told?
I'm saying that their diksha, so it's like we have a society, ISKCON society of dikshit names, but they are not following 16 rounds and we are bending the relative principles and we are even following the modern culture. So my question is that how do ISKCON view this? And in the future, what are we to do? Because as preachers, what are we to do?
Preachers does not mean we have to dilute the standard. Prabhupada was very, very particular when he was preaching Krishna consciousness at the beginning days. You can be a devotee, but when you want to take initiation, you have to follow 4 regulative principles and chant minimum 16 rounds. Prabhupada never compromised on that. And if someone does not follow that, he is not initiated. He may be formally taken initiation, but if he does not follow, he is not initiated. Initiation means entry, admission. Prabhupada said initiation means admission in a college. If you are admitted, after that you don't study, then you will fail. You will be failure, that's it. And if someone does not follow the regulative principles given by the spiritual master, he is automatically out of the parampara. He is no more a devotee, he is no more a disciple.
Now, this is on an individual level, but then when we are creating like a group of people in society, like Prabhupada speaks of the Hindu society, Prabhupada speaks about the deviance of Advaitacharya. And he said that's how the Hindu society became prominent. He said it's useless society. So I'm just asking a technical question, a social issue, which is coming from this part.
That's why you have to be very, very careful. Prabhupada said boiling the milk. Prabhupada in mid-70s he said boiling the milk. So we should boil the milk till milk is there. Otherwise we will not be able to boil the milk because milk will not be there, only water. Then that will be more problematic. So now better to boil the milk and try to focus on the quality. Prabhupada that time said we have expended so much, but we have expended so much now. But unless we focus on the quality, expansion is good, but we have to have the quality maintenance. If we don't have quality, then expanding only for the sake of expanding will dilute the whole purity of the society. Prabhupada said purity is the force, you have to maintain the purity. And purity means following 4 regulative principles, chanting our rounds, and following all other principles of devotional service. If that is not taken care of, then what is the point of giving initiation or taking initiation? It's a social issue and that should be addressed by the leadership of this society if it's happening like that. It is a duty of those who are taking initiation, those who are giving initiation, those who are arranging initiation, those who are recommending for initiation, those who are preaching Krishna consciousness, everybody is responsible. So we have to solve it collectively, but leaders should take more responsibility to make it better. Hare Krishna. So we'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,